Could you tell us briefly about some of Stockholm's key or headline achievements in the field of climate change planning and action?
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me to this interview. Yes, I can share some of our experiences in Stockholm. First of all, I would like to say that Stockholm has worked for a long time with environmental issues, including the climate issue, of course. And so we have quite a lot of experiences. And we have worked very much with energy issues, of course, because that's one of the main causes behind climate action, the use of fossil fuels. So we have gradually expanded our district heating system, and we are actually a combined heat and power system today in Stockholm, which covers about 80% of the all heating need in the city. And today that system is actually using non-fossil fuels up to 86%. So it's still not fossil fuel free, but it will be in the future. And we will actually build a new CHP plant in a few years now with renewables, actually biofuels. And that will make the district heating system fossil fuel free. So that's one of our main achievements. Then we also have worked a lot with energy efficient buildings to reduce the need of energy. And we do that with good insulation about the envelope, of course, and including windows and attic and doors. And we work very much now to go towards passive house and even further on to zero energy houses. And that has been a quite long tradition in Sweden to work with energy efficiency. So that is also a good achievement we've done.
Okay. You've been speaking about Stockholm. Now, the mainstream media often focuses on the work of national governments in international negotiations to address climate change. What is the role of cities? Why should cities care about this subject? And can cities make a real difference to global climate change?
I think it's quite simple. Most of the problems are created on the local level somewhere, often in cities, because in cities people live and they heat their houses, then transport themselves and so on. So all the emissions are actually coming from the cities. And for that reason, also the measures has to be taken in the cities. That cannot be taken in the UN, even though UN is important to negotiate these issues. But I think that the cities should have a bigger say in these negotiations, because they are actually a key player in this game.
Many of the workshop participants were very keen to learn from your experience. Which aspects were they most interested in? And are there one or two things that Stockholm has done which you think other cities could learn from and perhaps adopt?
I think that they were very interested in our CHP system based on a non-fossil fuel to a large extent. And this is also a trend coming now with those kind of systems with district heating. Instead of wasting heat out to nothing, it's better to use it for heating houses. I mean, when you produce electricity, then you got these extra heat. So it's a matter of taking care of that in a smart way. So that's one key issue they were interested in. Another one was actually how we take care of the organic waste and even sludge in our wastewater treatment in order to produce biogas to be used later in buses, city buses, and even cars. That was also of huge interest. And I also think our urban planning, when it comes to the urban structure, and how to plan housing and transportation in an integrated way, and how to develop city districts that are both sustainable and livable and attractive for people, to have an integrated approach, because that means also that people don't need to transport themselves too much if they can fulfill the needs within their own district.
Finally, can you share with us any lessons you have gained from the participants in this workshop, which could be useful to your own work in Stockholm to address climate change?
Yes, you always learn a lot from others, and two things I think about is actually the cap and trade issue when it comes to carbon. That's quite interesting, and it's coming both on the city level, but probably mostly on the national level. But it will affect, of course, cities. Another issue I learned about is how to go further on with the emission calculations, to also include the consumer-based emissions, because that is, of course, critical for the future. So that's two things I can remember just now. But of course, a lot of other experiences also I pick up, and also the things I've seen here in Singapore is of interest, of course.